Hello, and welcome to Council Recap, where we take the content of the City Council meetings and give you the breakdown. I'm James Powell. Council business began with a recognition by the Hawthorne Police Department on life-saving actions taken by city employees. On October 5th, Haley Arias, Brandon Hart, and Gerardo Irarte found a woman unconscious at the Betty Ainsworth Sports Center. The three members of the Hawthorne Community Services Department began CPR, allowing time for paramedics and police to arrive and transfer her to a nearby hospital. The woman has made a full recovery thanks to the actions of Arias, Hart, and Irarte. HPD Captain Gary Tomontani presented each a Lifesavers ribbon. In the resolution portion of the meeting, the Council approved Resolution 8380, which authorizes the Police Department to receive $185,000 from the Office of Traffic Safety Selective Traffic Enforcement Program, also known as STEP. The funds will be used to support educational traffic-related and safety enforcement programs. These programs include National Teen Driver Safety Week, or Ticket Month, and Motorcycle Safety Month. Council followed by approving Resolution 8381, which authorizes the Police Department to receive $120,000 from the Office of Traffic Safety. The Right to Live Motorcycle Education Grant distributes money to fund motorcycle safety classes to the general public. These classes are 8-hour, hands-on motorcycle training taught by sworn officers and instructors. The department will use a portion of the money for web and social media campaigns with the goal to reduce motorcycle fatalities. In the public hearing portion of the meeting, Ordinance 2235 had its first reading. This will update the Hawthorne Municipal Code for commercial cannabis business. If approved, the ordinance would establish the minimum requirements to conduct cultivation, manufacture, distribution, and retail sales of cannabis within the city. The Council is scheduled to vote on the ordinance in the November 8th meeting. In the ordinance section of the meeting, Ordinance 2236 was approved, which amends the Hawthorne Municipal Code to allow the city's clerk's office to schedule any appeals of business license decisions and authorizes the clerk to utilize a third-party hearing officer in these matters. The move was made to avoid potential claims of due process violations or bias against the Council. In the general matters portion of the meeting, Council received and filed a report outlining the existing regulations of short-term rentals in the city. The report covered what short-term rentals are, how they are permitted, and what restrictions are currently on the books. Next, the Council received a recommendation from city staff to retain the services of HDL Econs Solutions to provide economic development services. The centerpiece of the recommendation is a retail attraction action plan that includes an assessment of the current retail market and a plan to design a marketing and recruitment package over the course of 2 years, with a review by the Council after the first year. The $205,000 of funding for these services comes from the American Rescue Plan Act. In the final piece of general matters, the Council approved a bridge housing project in the east side of the city. Located at the intersection of 131st Street and Sims Avenue, the Bridge of Hope Community Housing Project will build and maintain up to 15 tiny homes. This will help people suffering from homelessness in the city by providing food, shelter, and wraparound services such as job training, case management, as well as medical and mental health services. The earliest projected completion date is February of 2023. In the city manager's consent calendar, the Council approved the purchase of a gap-vat sewer vacuum and hydro evacuation truck to replace the current 21-year-old truck used by the Public Works Department. The new truck uses natural gas, which will help reduce the city's carbon footprint. Next, Council approved the First Amendment to the consultant agreement for the building plan check services with CSG Consultants. The amendment will allow CSG to perform structural, electrical, plumbing, and on-call inspections for the city. After that, the Council filed a letter of support for a sound wall along the 405 freeway in the Holly Glen neighborhood of the city. The sound wall is currently in the planning stages, and Caltrans anticipates construction will begin in late 2024. Council then approved and received $500,000 from the Community Project Funding Grant from Congresswoman Maxine Waters. The funds will be used to rehabilitate and revitalize city-owned properties. Then, Progress Payment Number 4 was approved to Sequel Contractors Incorporated for Local Street Improvement Project 2022. The work includes street reconstruction within the Burleigh, Holly Glen, Oneida Gardens, and other neighborhoods in the city. The project consists of grinding, excavation, and removal of existing pavement, as well as new paving and new traffic markings. Council accepted and filed the Other Post-Employment Benefits Valuation Report for fiscal year 2022. The city provides medical insurance for retired employees and is required to measure and report the annual cost. Bartel Associates LLC was contracted to prepare this report using city data. Bartel Associates did not audit this data, though it was reviewed for reasonability. Next, Council approved an agreement for continued affordable housing advisory services. Harrison Associates has been contracted by the city since November of 2020, and with this agreement will continue to provide as-needed assistance on various affordable housing projects within the city. An agreement was approved between the cities of Hawthorne and Inglewood for supplemental law enforcement medical services. The Hawthorne PD will provide CPR, first aid, AED, and Narcan training to the Inglewood Police Department. The agreement will run for 2 years. In the city attorney's consent calendar, one claim was denied. In the discussion action items, Council appointed Faye Johnson to the Veterans Affairs Commission. Johnson is a veteran and looks to strengthen communication between the Commission and the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. Lastly, Council removed the mandate for masks during City Council and Commission meetings, as well as continuing the outdoor dining program. That's it for the meeting this week. Thank you for joining us on Council Recap. Remember, you can watch City Council meetings in their entirety by going to www.youtube.com and searching for Hawthorne Community Television. We'll see you next time.